Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from SimpleProgrammer.com. And I've got a bit of a long question here, sort of a story, but I think it's an interesting one, a cautious tale of woe, if you will. And this story comes from George. He says, I have my dream job, and I'm in a dark place. He says, hey John, I'm not sure if you will read this, but if you do, I'll seriously feel indebted for some advice. About a year ago, I was pretty shockingly bad C hobbyist programmer. I absolutely loved it. So I made a pretty drastic choice to join an apprenticeship scheme for 2 years of training and work experience. The apprenticeship turned out to be mostly web development driven, which at the time seemed interesting, but I ended up constantly turning to lower level systems and algorithm design, ended up hating the full stack web training. I started looking for some opportunities online when I was approached to do a small amount of website development and create a working email signature design for a startup games company. Basically, I was offered £400 for helping finish the website and create the email signatures. At the same time, that seemed like a lot of money for doing pretty much nothing. After all that was done, I was asked if I was interested in their current project, and long story short, I piled my way through masses of C++ books and online courses, as well as seeking out help at work so I could build a prototype that I could show on a CV. To my surprise, everyone thought the ideas and the early implementation were amazing. The problem was, I had no belief in the project as a game idea. I thought it was awful. I was offered some shares, which I took in hope I could just leave web forever. Since the project had remained fairly static up until around Christmas, when we got some industry professional artists, I was blown away seeing some of the work these people had done, and the company has seen some investment. Which sounds great, right? But the money and the artists really don't change the fact that I think the game idea is horrible. See, I told you this was a good story. Since then, some pretty crazy stuff has happened with my apprenticeship. The web company where I was working has gone into liquidation, and I somehow landed a job as a junior games programmer. So I guess my question is, how do I leave the company that helped me land my current job, the company whose owner has always been so convinced I have a strong passion and belief in his idea, and how do I leave the company that I have written so much code for? Do I just leave the shares behind and cut all ties? I really don't know. Sorry this is so long. The question still sort of makes sense with just the paragraph. Well, I feel like the story is pretty interesting there. So George gets this job. It's his dream job. He's a game developer. He's led everyone to believe that he loves the idea and the project. He thinks the game is shit and it's gonna fail, and he doesn't want to work on it. What do you do, George? You're in a dream job and you're in a dark place. I don't know about this one, George. I think there's two ways to think about this. I mean, one of them is that you're never gonna be at your dream job and have it be your dream job. Like, whatever you're working on, wherever you're working, there's gonna be some kind of illusion there. You're gonna have a delusion of what you expect it to be and what the reality actually is. It's just the way that things work. I wish I could remember the video I did where I talked about this a lot. maybe we'll find it here. But so there's that, okay? And then there's not wasting your time with something that you don't want to pursue and that you think isn't worth it. But I would question you this. This is what I would advise you to do, is to think about, first of all, do you know where you want to go clearly? Okay, because if you don't know where you want to go clearly, then leaving something because you're discontent with it is not a good idea. If you know I want to go here, and you're currently here, but you feel like you've got golden handcuffs, or you got to stay here because of the money you're making, or the code, or the time you've invested. If you're chasing bad money with good money, if you can't cut your losses, then go there. Then cut your losses and be done with it and be out of it and go. But if you don't know where you're going and you're in a place that's not the perfect place, but it's a pretty good place, and I have to admit, based on your story and where you're at, it sounds like a pretty good place to me. I mean, you're doing game development, you were a hobbyist C programmer, in a couple of years you got what a lot of people would consider a dream job. Maybe the game sucks and you don't think it's going to work out. I don't know. maybe you ride it out and you gain the experience. Maybe going somewhere else isn't going to be as good. I mean, if you want to, put out your resume. Go and apply for jobs and see if you can get something better that you think will actually be a lot better. But you got to make a choice. You got to make a choice here. You got to say in your mind, you got to say one of the two things. You got to say either I'm leaving and I'm setting a new direction and course for my life and this is where I want to go. Or you got to say, no, I'm staying and I'm going to love this. I am going to pour myself into this. I'm going to give all that I was holding back. I'm giving it my 100% enthusiasm. I'm giving it all I got. I am not holding back. I'm going to have a positive attitude. And if this game sucks, then I'm going to make it suck as little as possible. Okay? But you choose one of those things. Don't be where you are right now with your dream job in a dark place, because that's the foolish decision. That's just dumb. Because what you're doing there is you're halfway in between. You're doing the thing that you don't want to do, and you're not changing your situation, and you're complaining about it and feeling bad about it and all that, and that's no good. That's not going to be healthy for you. So either get out and be like, screw it, I'm done with this, flip the desk. Or you go gung-ho and you charge on and you know, it doesn't mean you can't ever change your situation, but pick one of those things for your own happiness. Now I'll say one last thing here, which is that you said that you feel like you've written all this code and this company helped you and they got you started and they give you these opportunities. Screw all that. That doesn't matter. Business is business, okay? I'm all for being nice and being kind and generous to people, but business is business. You cannot let someone else's expectations hold you back. You cannot let someone have ownership of you or take ownership of you. I think I did a video on not letting people have ownership of you. I've talked about this subject a lot, but you can't do that. You can't let that influence your decision and make, you don't want to feel obligated. Let me give you a little simple equation here. Obligation equals bitterness. Guarantee you. Those two always go together. If you want to discover the fastest way to become bitter, obligation. That's it. If you want to make someone become bitter and hate you, obligate them. I promise you that will make them become bitter. So you got to dismiss that from your head. If you're there because you want to be there and you've made that choice. If you leave, leave. Do not stay in a job, in an environment, in a relationship, in any kind of interaction with a person or organization or group based solely out of obligation. Unless you just want to become a bitter person, and you just can't escape that. So there you have it. I hope that helps you, George. And congratulations. I mean, it's pretty awesome that you've been able to have this success, and obviously you deserve it. In your story, you talk about how hard you worked and how you brushed up on C++, and you've got the commitment and the drive and the dedication to be successful. I know you will, George, so I know you'll make a great decision, but I hope that it all works out for you. If you like this video, if you would like to get more sad stories of developers in their dream jobs but in dark places, click the subscribe button below and I'll do my best to accommodate you. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.